Tits.
Let's hits now. Cue intro.
Cue intro?
You fools! You idiots!
You'll be sorry, you fools! You idiots!
Ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
I don't know about you, Miss Kitty, but I feel so much yummier.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
And welcome back.
Hi.
Hello!
Welcome back to Season 6, Episode 17 of Beards and Sundries.
You are going on.
America.
That's right, guys. It's time for another lunch break here at Beards and Sundries, the shop where three gay men with beards do inventory on a new sundry in each episode.
My name is Jay, and florals for spring. Groundbreaking.
2006.
And I'm Anthony, the real Cloverfield monster.
Oh.
2009?
You
Something
never
like
got
that.
to see it in the film, so that's nice. Also, congrats on throwing the Statue of Liberty's head. Fantastic.
Honestly, I just want to be as skinny as her.
Skinny! And I'm Joe, and it's me, Jessica!
Jessica!
2002. And that means that today's sundry item is movies of the aughts. Beardos, the three of us grew up in a very interesting time for cinema. We quote a ton of these movies in regular conversation anyway, so we figured why not close out Fool's Month with reviews of movies that would absolutely never get made today. Later on, we will talk about some very strangely timed news, and we will speculate on how we think it may or may not have contributed to today's sponsor. After the commercial, we've got some silly and raunchy Beardo-submitted sundries for you, and then for game time, Anthony's heading up the writer's table to make sure that we don't go into a complete tailspin into Tangentville. But before we look too far into the questionably racist material in some of these movies, how about this week's lack of a voicemail?
I know
Well-
we have some coming. They just haven't done it yet, which is fine. We're all busy.
Are they dialing one number a week? It's not a rotary phone. You know, you can just do the whole number all at once, you know?
Maybe.
Come on. Come on.
Oh, I really want somebody to call us on a rotary phone. I don't know why. I just want you to tell us that you're calling from a rotary phone.
Hello, Mr. Anga. Your call to St. Louis has gone through.
KL 5192.
Oh, sorry, that's Klondike 513.
What's oh, no, that's the wrong era of movies. I won't bring it up right now. I was going to talk about 9 to 5, and I was like, no, that's 80s.
No, that's another episode. We got to bounce way back to
Gotta
the
do
80s
a whole
for
Yeah.
different one.
Yeah.
Well, maybe one of you guys will call and leave us a voicemail one day.
We
Or
love
maybe you won't. Maybe.
Fuck it.
They were more popular in the 2000s.
You know, that's the problem, is we're millennials and we don't use phones.
Yeah, I know.
Not
I
like
don't
that,
get
at
phone
least.
calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. You could just not
Also-
call me.
A lot of people are like, a lot of people say they don't want to hear their voice, and I haven't wanted to hear mine for 3 years, but for some reason I'm like, let's do a podcast.
Just keep doing
and
it. It's
Here we
wild.
are.
You should see the way I cringe every time I hear myself laugh at one of my own jokes. It's awful.
You should see
Yeah.
us cringe too.
It's okay. You'll
I'm
get used to it eventually. I haven't yet, but I've heard that you'll get used to it eventually, so we'll see.
Well, Joe, do you think I can find those fortune cookies that let me Freaky Friday with Jay so I can see what it's like to have room in my pants? In the sundries aisle?
No, those are actually in the Lost and Found. But if you guys are new to the show and you're wondering just what the hell a sundry is, the term comes from an old English word meaning odds and ends. Now, these days, it's used mainly in retail and in Jay's pants to summarize an item that doesn't typically have a group of its own or a partner of its own. So, as three gay, extremely offensive, and extremely inappropriate gay men with beards, we are using the term to group together the wide range of topics that we cover.
You know,
Wow.
if Anthony and I Freaky Friday'd, the first thing that would happen is I'd look in a mirror and quote the movie, "Why am I so old?"
Isn't it? Oh, I'm like the crypt keeper.
Yes.
I'd love to believe that the first thing I would do is be like, I'm going to go live my life as this person for a day. But honestly, like whatever parts I end up with, I'm just going to jack it. Yeah. You know, at least once.
cranking
I'm
it.
just going to crank that hog.
Anthony's like, "Oh, this is so much easier. I don't have to use my arm so far out."
It's like those plastic swords.
And me,
Look
I'm
'em
just
out.
like knocking off shit in the shelves in Walmart, and I'm like, "What's going on?"
I'd do that, and also like as much food as I could possibly eat, just going crazy. Food and cranking it. That's it.
I would ask him, "What are you allergic to?" And then I would eat all of that like right before midnight, so he'd wake up and be like super gassy or something.
Oh my
What'd you do,
God.
gassy?
I'm lactose intolerant. I'm always gassy, so you would just eat whatever. I mean, that would just be every day for me. You would be like, I'm gonna make sure he eats bad. I'm gonna get ranch on my salad, and I'm just gonna be like, salad.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you said that the other day. The other day I was at a happy hour with someone, and these old men came in, and they're trying to order food. They stomp up to the counter because apparently they didn't walk over within the first 30 seconds that they sat down. So they walk up to the counter of the bar, and they're like, "I want this." And then this guy's like, "Do you have blue cheese?" And he goes, "Yeah, we have blue cheese dressing." And he goes, "No, I'm looking for crumbled blue cheese." And the guy's like, "Oh, no, we don't have that." And he's like, "Why doesn't anybody ever have that?" And I'm like, why are you acting so upset that this fucking place has nothing that everyone else doesn't carry? Who carries crumbled blue cheese?
Yeah, if you're so upset, then bring your own fucking blue cheese.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Why not keep some in your wallet?
It's moldy anyway.
$20, condom, blue cheese.
Blue cheese. Oh, thanks, Mom. God, you know, I was gonna prep for this, but I oddly think I'm overly prepared for it. Mostly because Joe has maybe watched The Sweetest Thing like 4 times in the past 4 months.
Yeah, probably. Also, and then the first scary movie was 2000, so it started off
Yes.
this decade with quite a bang. So it just kind of, I don't know if that. So do you think this kind of snowballed from like the late 90s with all the Adam Sandler movies and some of the
Yes.
stuff that they were doing with like Rob Schneider, right? Like 98, 99, and then it just kind of steamrolled into the thousands. And then, you know, like the Wayans brothers got involved, and then it kind of steamrolled into who's the guy that works with Leslie Mann and Paul Rudd all the time? What's his name? Paul Feig, I think. Or the one, he's the one that works with Melissa
Kevin Feige?
McCarthy. I think that might be right. He's the one who's married to Leslie Mann. So he did like all those movies that she was in, and like the 4-Year-Old Virgin and all that, like that whole group of people that were doing those movies for a couple years. So it was like a
Her
whole
spouse is Judd Apatow.
Judd Apatow, that's his name. Yeah, he did like all those, like, you know, 4-Year-Old Virgin, and was he tied to Anchorman as well? I can't remember.
I
forget who
don't
did that
know.
one.
I guess I'm 1 click away, so hang on 1 second.
That's true.
Wait, I'm
I
2
am
clicks
sitting in
away.
front
It
of
wasn't
two
on the
computers.
If you do one more click, I am logging off.
40-year-old verse. Shut the fuck up. I hope. Hey, wait.
That's it. I'm out.
Thank God.
I think the 4-Year-Old Virgin was 2005.
40-year-old version for sure. I don't know. What was the other thing you said?
I know he did This Is 40 because it was about them turning 40.
Whatever.
And they're-
I'm not going to spend all evening
Yeah.
looking it up. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. It was this whole, like, it's just stupid humor. Like, funny at that time jokes that everyone thought were harmless, but they were a little more than harmless.
Racy.
It's
Ooh.
I think what also got me with those movies is the racism that was. I think people thought it was acceptable because they were casting the race of the people who they were making racist jokes about,
Hmm.
but it was only vaguely casting. So, like, if you were Asian and you looked Asian, then you would be cast as the Asian, which is so nebulous that it could make up any one of a number of different ethnicities that is innumerable in the eyes of Americans because, we don't understand that, America makes up just a small fraction of the world's population.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right?
How many billions of people are on this earth, and we're what, 335 million of them?
Yeah, they keep sending in like half of those are immigrants, if Trump is to be believed. But it reminds me of, and I think it was the hot chick where she has the Asian friend, and she was like, what was her name? Oh God, I can't remember. Her mom worked in the nail shop.
You're thinking of Ling Ling from Not Another Teen Movie.
No, she's not in not a she movie, is she?
I think she is.
I thought that
maybe?
was the hot chick.
Oh,
Jay,
maybe.
where's
No, I
Ling
don't-
Ling from?
No clue.
Anyways, she says that line like "Ling Ling, you forgot your bling bling," but she says it very racist, and I just, oh man, that stuff it gave me the ick back then, and I guess I couldn't put my finger on why, but I never liked those movies, and now that I'm older, I think I realize that stuff made me so uncomfortable.
You're right. It was the hot chick, and that was the same vein as like Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. I mean, hello, same actor. And that was another movie where they kind of like all these women that had like mental illnesses, and they like just made so many jokes. And
Yeah.
going back and watching that now, I'm just like, ooh, wow. That's stuff that you canceled these days.
The hot chick did give me one line that I do use to this day, and that's Adam Sandler saying, "A lot of people don't know this, but you could put your weed in there."
in there. There's a scene later on in that movie where he's smoking with some really hot girl, and he's like, "Well, where do you keep yours?" And she leans over and whispers, and it's implied that she says, her vagina.
In her pussy.
And he just goes, "Oh, yeah, sure." It's just, and everyone from our age group seems to know that line. I've said it a few times on multiple occasions as jokes, and people always seem to get it. So at least
Yeah.
it landed with those people.
What a weird cultural moment, because I feel like a lot of people saw that movie, but not a lot of people are going to rewatch that movie. Also, unsurprisingly, Rob Schneider turned out to be awful.
Yeah. If only we would have known. Oh God, we should have known
It was like, where were the warning signs?
when he was a stapler. Rob
Everywhere.
Schneider.
I never was really a Rob Schneider fan, and
Who was?
I've never been an Adam Sandler fan for the most part, so I never watched much of his stuff.
My friends like that stuff, and that's why I watched it.
My parents, that's how I saw Big Daddy and fucking
Happy Gilmore?
whatever. Yeah, that's how I saw that.
He also watched the movie with his Big Daddy.
Well, yeah, that was a different era of my life.
Anyways, go
Oh
on.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The humor all kind of was the same. It's kind of like Will Ferrell for me. A lot of it's like the same, and there'll be one movie I'm like, oh wait, I did like that one, Waterboy. I remember growing up with that, laughing at it, realizing how completely terrible it is now as an adult. But a lot of the other films, I'm like, okay, well,
The cultural impact of the Gatorade thing and then
Oh,
water
my
sucks.
gosh.
It really, really sucks. How everyone in our age group seems to know that reference every time. I've never seen it fail to land.
when did that come out? 98. So that was kind of the trigger of
It's
that.
such an old movie.
Wow. But it
Yeah.
had what's her name? What the hell's
Kathy Bates
yes,
Fairuza
Kathy
Balk.
Bates.
as his mom. And Fariza Balk, yeah.
Girls are the devil.
You're not playing that foosball, Bobby Boucher. Yeah. It was so terrible, and yet everyone knows it so well. Because it
It's
was
funny,
like a
too.
discount Tom Hanks, like a discount Forrest Gump kind of, but like way more dumb.
Because that was like Kathy Bates was established in her acting career and well-known actress because Misery was way back. So then she plays this
Yeah.
really dumb character, and I love that.
I feel like the number of movies where Adam Sandler played a mentally handicapped person
It's alarmingly high.
is alarmingly high.
It's more than one, which is high. And it's way more than like 4.
If I had a nickel, I don't think I'd have quite $1, but I'd be getting close.
Yeah. Let's not even think about Billy Madison.
It's getting scarier in this economy when I could pay for something with all those nickels.
Well, Little
Yeah.
Nicky. I wouldn't even consider Billy Madison to be one of those movies, but like Little Nicky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, that movie. Anyways,
Besides Adam Sandler, we did get things like Easy A, and that's where what's her face?
was Easy A pre 2010s?
I thought it was 2009, yeah.
Yeah, I
Was
think
it?
so.
I mean, Mean Girls was 2004.
Well,
Well,
now,
yeah,
I mean,
obviously.
I've been talking about that gem and its cultural
oh, it was
impact on the world.
2010.
Yeah, it's 2010, but
2010?
you know what? We're going
Okay.
to count it because I love that movie. And what a
I always
fucking
thought it was
gem.
like 09. It is a gem. My God. Stanley
that was the
Tucci
Amanda
has
Bynes
never
and-
been hotter.
It's also kind of where I
know.
discovered Emma Stone and started loving her.
I think that's where everybody started to really like love Emma Stone because she was so relatable. She was like, it did kind of like tread this wire of she was portraying herself to be this giant slut, but really she was like a virgin or she was chaste or whatever. So I don't know. I think there was something there to be like, you know, I don't know. It's still very 2010s because the expectation is that the protagonist, if she is going to be female, needs to also remain like chaste in these YA movies.
Well, it was also kind of like the intro of like technology becoming part of this world for teenagers, like more and more cell phone usage and internet usage being more of their everyday life. So that kind of played a factor into it too. And it was kind of an intro to that whole genre.
Wow.
Roman got a Coke Zero again?
My brain has so many of these movies out of order. House Bunny, I do remember House Bunny being before Easy A that she was
yes.
in. But
I
I
also
also
quote that
Zombieland
one.
was later. And that's 2009.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I love
House-
Zombieland.
House Bunny was 08. These are all Emma Stone movies that I'm skimming
God,
over.
House
but it's just
Bunny.
like, oh.
House Bunny. I think of House Bunny, and there is something I quote from House Bunny all the time, and that is, I gotta go do something very mysterious. Drop off some chim.
Drop some timber. And then
Cinderella.
because
Yeah,
no,
fucking
and
love
I
that.
love that because I work with someone named Natalie, so sometimes I'll just look at her and be like,
Oh,
God, but-
man.
I mean, honestly, it at least gave us the scary movie. The first 3 scary movies. You know what? The first 2.5 scary movies, because the
That's
second
fair.
half of Scary Movie 3 is like, bleh.
yeah,
It is. Like, I
it really
love
falls
it.
apart when the aliens show up.
It really falls apart when the aliens pee out of their fingers. I think that's where you lose me.
It just seems like they had to wrap it up, and they're like, well, what do we do?
It really did seem like they had to wrap it up quickly.
But let me talk about a movie that everyone of our generation knows from the early aughts, and that is Bring It On.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's already been brought in.
2001?
Ugh.
Like it really ushered in the teen movie craze of the aughts.
2000.
in my opinion. Yeah, 2000. So yeah, like
Yeah.
right there in the beginning.
Which I was a big Kirsten Dunst fan because, I don't know, I watched her in a lot of things growing up. Jumanji, I loved her in Jumanji a lot. And
She was
also
young in Jumanji.
super young. And then also, I was really happy with, what's that movie? The American Teen Princess movie.
Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Oh,
Of course.
Loved her in
Amber
that.
Atkins.
Amber
Atkins.
Atkins.
God, what a cult hit on its own.
I had never seen that movie until recently, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Drop Dead Gorgeous?
Yeah, I think just
Ah.
like within the last year is the first time I watched it.
I don't know why I love that film so much.
A lot of gay people love that film so much. A lot of people love that film.
What's alarming is I watched that at like 9, 10, however old I was.
What got me to watch it was I was listening to the Film Flamers podcast, and they were doing an episode on it, and in like their horror or their gateway horror month that they do, where they like find movies that are sort of tangential to horror that might get people into the genre, and that's one of the ones they did, and I was just like, I need to watch this. With the way they're describing it, I have to watch it.
That's a good episode of their podcast too.
Yeah, it really is.
You know, and I always think the 2000s didn't have a lot of great movies because it felt like after the 90s they'd started getting a little bit tackier. But now looking back,
They did.
we had some good ones because, of course, there was also Devil Wears Prada. American Psycho came out in 2000, which that's a good one.
That's a
Was it?
really good one.
And then The Holiday, that one came out in 2006, I think. The one, yeah, that's a good movie. Shut up.
The one with Clean Latifah on skis?
No, that's Last Holiday, you idiot. Oh my god. There was also the Charlie's Angels movies.
Oh my god.
And while
Wasn't
I'm not
the
a
second one like 2009, so just barely made the cutoff?
No, I think the first one was like 2000, and I think the second one was like 2003 or something.
I'm not really a country person, but Oh Brother, Where Art Thou was really good, and that came out in 2000.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then how could I forget my favorite film of all time, Kill Bill Volume 1.
Bitch. Such a good
Bitch.
movie.
Bitch.
It's so good. I could watch that movie all the time.
It's
There's
what-
never a day that you could ask me like, "Hey, do you want to watch Kill Bill?" that I will ever say no.
Got the music, the screenplay, just everything about that movie is just fantastic.
Answer this for me, because I know Anthony is a huge horror fan. In the 2000s, were there any like phenomenal horror films? I feel like it was an era where CGI was becoming kind of more dominant and stuff, and it all looked bad.
So there was a lot of that. Like you had like the House on Haunted Hill was 99, so I guess technically I don't know.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Like what was in the thousands?
Honestly,
Oh,
stand
Saw.
out to me right now off
That's
the top of my head is
shock
Paranormal
horror.
Activity because
Yeah,
of the
found footage.
physical, like they honestly, the Blair Witch Project walked so that Paranormal Activity could run because found footage was becoming its whole own genre in this time
Oh
period.
yeah, and it was cheap to
so-
make.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, and so
exactly.
Paranormal Activity got made for like pennies on the dollar, and like they made a shit ton of money off of that movie, and it's because they just used practical effects.
Yep.
Paranormal Activity was supposed to just be like a little indie film that was shown at a film festival, and it became massive and made millions.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And then we had J horror that made its way to America in the 2000s. So you got The
Oh,
Grudge,
yeah.
you got The Ring. 28 Days Later, this little independent British film that came out in 2003,
I think it was 03.
somewhere in that area. Final Destination was a 2000s movie.
Yep. Yeah.
Jeepers
Oh, yeah.
Creepers.
Oh my gosh, never mind, you're right. There are some.
Yeah,
But they're
so
all
we-
kind of a little bit of tacky acting, but I still appreciate them.
That's what makes them iconic, I think.
I think so.
If you're worried about CGI as much, I think the movies named so far are pretty good about not committing too much CGI.
Too
sins.
much.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not now. Final Destination 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything gets a little dicey, but the first one was pretty like
There was a lot
grounded
of
in
practical
practical
stuff.
effects.
Yeah.
Except, of course, there was the highway car accident scene, which defined a whole era of us.
That's Final
Oh, yeah.
Destination 2, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that
Yep.
that one, that was a. I still live this day not sitting behind any semi trucks if I can prevent it.
Yeah. I'm not
Ooh,
hanging out
you-
back there.
You know what else was a 2000s horror movie? I'm gonna like lightly say it is technically a horror movie, but Jennifer's Body.
Oh, yeah. because that was Diablo Cody, right? And
Say
she
something
had
nice
just
about Diablo Cody.
well, she had just come off of Juno, right? So she was riding some success off of that. So
And that movie is it's a cult classic. It's so good.
yeah, yeah.
30 Days of Night came out during that time. Not that that wasn't CG at all, but it did use a lot of practical effects, so that was good.
Weren't there
I
some
rag
Halloween
on places.
entries?
I was like, I rag on horror movies using CGI in the 2000s, but literally, I just watched. What was that? Another Jeepers Creepers not that long ago that was made in
Oh, that
23 or
awful
4, and
one?
it was the absolute worst horror film I've ever seen. Worst.
That whole thing was made on a computer. I swear to fucking God.
All they did was stand in a green screen the entire time.
They said Jeepers Creepers by Pixar.
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers by Canva.
Oh my
my
God.
God.
Yeah, basically, that was how
It
it
felt
was.
like
It was
that.
rough.
It was
It was
bad.
really rough. Yeah.
I watched it all the way through because I just wanted to see how terrible it got, and it progressively got worse.
It kept getting worse, and I kept watching it, being like, "Why am I doing this? This hurts.
Yes.
This hurts my brain."
And it was like the ending, like climax scene was the absolute worst CGI I think I've ever seen in any film, and that's including the 90s.
And that's the one that takes place in the graveyard, right?
Yup.
And it's not a real graveyard, Beardos. It's just a CGI graveyard. There's not a real set. It just exists on a computer somewhere. I swear to God. If there was a real prop in that, I didn't see it.
Oh, and when he throws off something from the roof.
I forgot about that. I was also drinking while I was watching this. Like, I got a little ways into it, and I was like, nope, can't do it sober.
To.
Yeah,
I
you
remember
have
popping
to.
a bottle of wine, being like, "I'm gonna have to finish this and drink more because this is brutal."
It was rough. It was so gross.
And that was a year or two ago.
Yeah, that was not a good movie. But, I mean, people are still guilty of it because they run into this, like, it's a simple solution, especially now that you can do a lot of pre-made assets or modify pre-made assets to fit what you need. Like, before, when you were having to do CGI from the ground up, it was used sparingly because it was so much work. Now it's a lot less work, and so it's used more often in place of practical effects because practical effects take work.
Yeah.
And money.
But if you take that and go to the animated films of the 2000, you're getting fucking shit like Shrek, Monsters Inc., all of those wonderful films, The Incredibles. What a great
that really
era.
was like the golden age of Pixar, in my opinion. Finding Nemo.
Yes, it was.
Cars.
They were getting a
yeah.
lot of original IPs in the 2000s before
Yeah.
they started before they started sequeling us to death.
Which it's kind of annoying because, like, it's an era where I was starting to get a little bit too old for them, and that's fine. I still watch them, still love them. Because The Incredibles, I think, came out, God, what was I, 14?
2004, I think.
Really?
Oh, and
That
Cloudy with a
long
Chance of
ago?
Meatballs?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You know, that's
what a
our first
treasure of film.
digital movie that we owned is Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Was it really?
Fucking fantastic.
If you go and look at our Amazon library, it's the very first film.
Oh, wow.
Because we were dating.
Avocado.
We had just started dating like a few months before that or something like that. And so I bought the physical copy and it came with the digital copy for free.
Oh, yeah. That was that
Yeah.
era of
Yeah.
purchasing films.
Yes.
And then one more genre from the thousands that I wanted to talk about because Anthony mentioned 28 Days Later, the zombie resurgence of the 2000s. Now you've got stuff like the first Resident Evil film based on the video games from the 90s. You've got the Dawn of the Dead remake in 2004. You've got things like Wreck was 2007, I think, right?
2008 Spanish language film. Yeah.
And then that was more found footage, so that's combining the zombie genre and found footage. So you've got hybrids happening now. And then it just kind of has snowballed into, like, Resident Evil is a huge mega franchise, still spanning video games. And you've also got, like, the Dawn of the Dead remakes, that whole thing which inspired The Walking Dead to become a thing. And then all the remakes that are out there. It's just, zombies have gotten humongous. And I think it's because of their emergence back into pop culture in the 2000s for sure.
That 100% is like when that happened, and it was really attributed to both Resident Evil and 28 Days Later. Those were the two films that kicked it off, and then it went crazy after that.
Mm-hmm.
Because zombies were, I guess they were still around, you just didn't see them as much, because I think the only one I could think of before that that really hit theaters was the remake of the Night of the Living Dead with Tony Todd as the main character, which is incredible. If you guys want to watch Night of the Living Dead, but you're afraid you don't want to watch the original black and white one with black and white acting and blah, 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 watch the remake. It's every bit as true to the source material.
I've always thought that that kind of cycle of things being more popular in the horror genre, kind of rotating in and out. You saw the 80s, right? Would come with like the serial killer, the slasher, the teen slasher. It's too scary to go outside. You're going to get killed. You're going to get murdered. So that kind of drew focus away from the zombies and the creature features of the time, because what's scarier than another human being? So it was this whole like kind of fear-mongering campaign, which was also true in like the news of the 80s and 90s. Like you had copycat killers, you had mass murderers, you had serial killers that were on the loose, and it was scary and it was real and it was real life. So make movies about that and people are going to go watch them. So you had things like the slasher genre of the 90s with Scream, and I know you did last summer, and targeting teen audiences and trying to be scary. And then in the 2000s, you've got teens kind of shifting more towards tech and kind of getting smarter than, I guess, the serial killers they think. So a natural focus back to the creature feature genre is only fitting because you've also got new emerging technology in movie making. So things that were way more out of reach with practical effects only a few years ago have become so much more accessible with CGI. And, that's why they kind of beat it with a stick until it was dead and pulpy. But it kind of brought creature features back into the limelight in the 2000s.
I was like, the 80s also had their little skyrocket in tech fear, because look at the Terminator.
RoboCop.
Fear of the future.
Yeah, RoboCop,
right?
all that stuff. So it was kind of this whole, it's growing so fast, the future's dangerous. And people ate that up.
Well, when you
Which is
think
still
about
true today.
We
it's
ushered
still
in
true
the
today.
year 2000 with the threat of Y2K, the whole event there that was supposed to be apocalyptic.
Speaking of, on Hulu, there's a new movie that's popular right now called Y2K.
Yeah, we've seen it actually, and it's silly.
It's silly. I totally just watched it this weekend.
I watched it and I looked over at Anthony and I was like, you think this will redeem the stuff she's getting from Snow White?
Nope.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
Nope.
poor thing.
Yeah. But yeah, we came hot off the trail of a pseudo-apocalyptic event we thought was going to happen. And so like apocalyptic horror made sense for the 2000s. And we also started seeing more disaster movies pop up. Like, because we saw them in the 90s with Dante's Peak and Volcano and things like that. But like,
the 90s were like natural disasters. It seemed, because Volcano, Dante's Peak, yes, all those, it seemed like that
Armageddon.
whole
Deep Impact.
And then we started getting Armageddon, Deep Impact, Titanic, all of those disaster films. And then I feel like the 2000s we kind of laid off for a bit after 9/11.
Right, we did, because I was thinking of 2012, so it's the 2010s I'm thinking of.
It was, you kind of had to get more like big, like remember the movie The Core?
Oh my gosh, yes. I
So
do.
that
Oh,
was,
yeah.
I think, like 07.
Well,
and that was like fear of tech, but also like this natural disaster that there's no way you could fix it unless you get unobtainium.
I was like, we started hitting the 2002, 3, and all that stuff where you started getting The Core and The Day After Tomorrow, which turned into the global warming natural disaster fear. And so that hyped up a lot of our stuff, which later on brought us the 2012 and all that stuff, because it's all kind of this mass hysteria of,
Well,
I mean, that was the Mayans.
it was also mass hysteria following 9/11.
Yeah.
So that's also when it became really touchy to show any kind of like destruction on film.
That's
and
true.
That's when it got kind of touchy for a little while.
They had to change, what was it, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, because it had a scene with the Twin Towers, and it came out after 9/11, and so they had to cut that scene because Americans lose
Are
their
sensitive?
shit. Oh, they're sensitive little bitches. And Like if you had shown them like, I don't know, Spider-Man was pissing on the Twin Towers saying Hail Al-Qaeda, that, yeah. But like,
That's a scene I would cut.
Yeah, I remember there was an episode of Pokemon, the anime, that got cut for a little while from being shown in the U.S. because there was an episode where a Pokemon called Tentacruel, a giant jellyfish with tentacles, knocked over a building, and they deemed that too relevant, so they banned it in the U.S. for a while.
Well, and then later we started getting the movies about that. So we had United 93 and the World Trade Center and stuff like that.
It was,
So now,
it was-
like-
people wanted a feel-good story about it.
It's interesting because now, like, we feed off of the stories of these massive disasters because there's never been, like, prior to that, we didn't, okay, Oklahoma City bombing, still the most largest domestic terrorist act in the nation so far. No movie about it. There's, like, documentary style
I was like,
things,
didn't
but
we
there's
just
no,
get like
like,
one that was sort
movie
of
design.
like that though on Netflix?
Did
I don't know
we?
if it was
just
a
came out.
Movie.
Okay, maybe I should say it wasn't a big movie because like United 93 and all that shit went to theaters.
I think it's more about Terry Nichols than it is about Timothy McVeigh than it is about the
Yeah,
actual
so
bombing.
it's a movie called McVeigh. And
Yeah.
released in 24. It's got
But is it-
Alfie Allen, which he's relatively.
Is that not like
Famous.
a semi-documentary of the situation in a sense?
I think it's more like it's not so
It's
much
a
about the
movie.
bombing as it is more about him. Like Monster was
Ah.
about Aileen Wuornos, and it wasn't about
Yeah,
the
this
crime.
is not
Okay,
like a
okay.
documentary. This is definitely a movie that centers around Timothy McVeigh.
It's like a biopic, kind of.
Yeah,
Like
Huh,
a loose
okay.
biopic.
Interesting.
but it does raise the question of that happened in 1995, and it took us till now.
Yeah.
When every other big disaster like that has been like 5 years later.
Yeah,
Shit, we just
Interesting.
celebrated the 30th anniversary of that because it happened on April 19th, and today's what? the
yeah, you're
21st,
right,
so
huh? Yeah,
the only reason I remember that is because I live 4 blocks away from it now, and they were having a big event on Saturday. Bill Clinton was actually here because he was the president at the time that happened.
Oh, did you sleep with him?
Damn, he's good.
Well, on that note, do you guys think it's time for us to go to break?
Yes.
Yes, let's do. Okay, we're gonna go to break, and after we get back, we're gonna talk about something I care very little for.
If you want some fun new clothing and want to support a small business, check out hunkytops.com, the queer, Latino-owned clothing site. Beards and Sundries will get you 10% off your first order with the code SUNDRIES at checkout. You can order above 3XL, you just need to hit the contact button and they'll work with you. Again, check out hunkytops.com. Explore their styles and wear your pride. Use Sundries at checkout for 10% off your first order.
You're listening to the Beards and Sundries podcast. The podcast rated 5 out of 6 balls.
Welcome back. The Pope's dead. Time for a commercial?
Oof.
Hold on.
That's right.
You-
So
You have to blow the black or white smoke to decide if we want to go to commercial.
listen. My coworker and I were talking about this earlier today for a brief second. I was like, okay, yeah, the Pope's dead. Water's wet. The sky's blue. Let's move on.
yeah.
Old white man dies to be replaced by another old white man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So
Groundbreaking.
I'm gonna eat up the conspiracy theory that JD Vance killed him.
you know what? I bet Twitter's gonna lose their minds.
Oh my god, my Instagram has lost its mind because people are like, you know what? I'm gonna latch onto this.
So what's the theory? What did he do? Just the shock of seeing his face?
Oh, just showing up and being an asshole. Or one of them was he had like a haircut where the back of his hair looked terrible, and it was while he was with the Pope, and they're like, the Pope saw that and went,
I thought the original intention was that the Pope wasn't even going to meet with this guy. He was going to send like a pontiff or something,
Huh. I'm surprised he didn't.
like a holy clerical secretary.
I wanted to send you guys the Family Guy montage of the Pope all day because Anthony and I quote it all the time. Because like sometimes I don't know, like I'll throw something on the floor.
Pope.
Yeah, it'll be like, Pope, the floor is not a laundry hamper. Man, it's a stupid hat, Pope.
Pope. Man.
And
Smite
I
them.
always, yes, that's the part I always think of. Smite them. Oh, he's a cook or something.
When he walks into their house and he kisses the floor, he's like, ooh, lemony.
Lemony.
God.
But yeah.
When was the time? When was it that the last Pope died?
12 years ago.
It
Yeah,
wasn't very
that's
long
right.
ago. Yeah, 12 years ago. Okay.
I remember because I was using the CNN News app at the time because this was like pre-Trumpism, and so you could read news without like too much issue.
Punching you in the face.
Yeah, and I opened up the app that day, and all of the top 8 headlines on CNN were about the Pope, and I was like, "Well, goodbye, CNN app. I'm never going to use that again. I don't give a shit about
Was
this."
was that the era that every time you open the CNN app, it would go, "This is CNN."
Oh, I don't know.
I think so.
That fucking
It's been so
drove me
long
nuts.
since my phone has made a sound. If it did make a noise aside from an alarm in the morning, I would be shocked. I'm not positive
yeah.
the speakers even work.
I found out a very interesting fact today about voting in the new Pope, in that any of the cardinals who want to vote for the new Pope cannot be over the age of 80. And I said, wow, that sounds like a great fucking idea. How can I implement that in this shit stain of a country? Because that's a great fucking idea. Man.
Yeah.
Look, man.
Man.
Look, I mean, you would think with how poor America's healthcare system is that people would just die, but then it turns out that it's a really great healthcare system if you have money.
There it is. The ones who are doing all the voting are the ones who are doing all the money keeping.
Right. And so the people who continue to be alive and plague us like Mitch McConnell have money. And so they continue to not die because they have access to premium medical care. Medical care plus, if you will.
Speaking of that medical care, I wonder if any of them are currently in a nursing home and no one knows where they are right now, because it apparently happens.
At least in America.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that about the Pope, though. I was to see the Pope, I'm like, wow, an old white dude. I wonder what old white dude they're going to get to replace this old white dude.
They do all look just alike, don't they? It's weird.
It's the most annoying thing because I feel like Catholicism has built this giant industry out of their church, and it's this massive thing, and like, I don't know, it just misses the entire point of Christianity. And I mean 99% of Christianity misses the entire point of Christianity. So
Oop.
To be fair, he was one of the more pioneering popes.
He was progressive thinking on paper.
On paper, because he definitely pushed a lot more for modernizing a little bit. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, yay, Pope.
I also read a little bit about how he changed rules that would be handling his death and his arrangements to make them more, I don't know if it was a plan to make them more economical, but it did help make them more economical and less work for everybody else. So, and yeah, so, I mean, at least there's that.
I'm going to be the Pope and then change the rules again where I'm just like, dump me in a ditch.
What do you mean change the rules, Jay? That's already your rule.
All I know is the black and white smoke situation that they do whenever they vote. I might use that in my dating life so you guys understand when I'm not single anymore. You'll see the white smoke.
Every time I hear about that, I think about in 2000 when they were accused of burning ballots and like what color you think that smoke was coming out of that chimney and if they celebrated or not. Like George Bush did when he found out that he won the presidency in the year 2000 when he shouldn't have. Yeah, that.
I had to question my color of smoke. I was like, black smoke means they haven't voted for one, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they have to have a 2/3 majority for their voting on a new pope.
I think they should vote on Olivia Pope from Scandal.
Yes.
I was like, okay.
Thank you. I will not be taking questions at this time, apparently.
I was like, I didn't have a comment. I'm sorry. Well, bye, Pope. Sorry you had a stroke.
Now, there is a weird theory that I have not read anywhere except for my own brain. But my theory is that the Pope died before the weekend, and they had to parade him around for Easter things and J.D. Vance's visit, a la the movie Weekend at Bernie's. So maybe there were some fun hijinks in Vatican City this weekend that we don't know about yet.
I mean, his wave did look a little weak. He was just... Makes sense.
It was weird that there were a lot of strings attached to him.
Yeah, it's so strange that everyone kept holding on to him so much.
He was trying to hold himself up on J.D. Vance's haircut.
He had those little sticks like Madam.
He's up there and he's like, woohoo! Bless you, my child.
And also with you.
The mic hit. I don't know why I made that perfect.
I know. Yep. I'm trying to keep it closer.
But speaking of that little theory that is sick and twisted and gross, so now for a word from this week's sponsor, the new movie Weekend at Popey's on the Longtime channel.
Coming this Easter, when Vice President J.D. Vance accidentally spills a new deadly biological weapon on the Pope just before Easter weekend, hijinks ensue. Now, this dandy from Appalachia has to figure out how to convince the whole church that their Holy Father is alive and well all the way through Sunday. From high-speed car chases in the Pope-mobile through Vatican City... Whoa, that's one ill papa! To crashing the latest Katy Perry publicity stunt.
Hey, get out of our studio! We're recording me on the moon!
This is one Holy Father who won't be coming back in 3 days.
Don't worry, y'all. This is the real Pope and not green screen. You can trust me, Katy Perry, right?
Join JD, Just Killed the Pope Vance, and Katy, Fake Astronaut Perry, this spring for Weekend at Popey's.
Don't forget to subscribe to the show so you get a notification every time we drop a new episode.
I sure do love Weekend at Popey's.
I cried a little bit when I watched it. Not sure why, though.
I cried a little bit when I wrote it.
And I peed a little bit when I wrote it. Oh,
Well, I always pee when I
wrote
cry.
it. Oh, I didn't write it. When I wrote it, I peed a little bit.
That's what you think.
That's not pee, it's squirt.
I knew you were going to get him with that one.
I know. I was waiting till he was taking a drink, too.
You see them stains right there? See them stains?
My favorite part is that opening montage where J.D. Vance accidentally kills the Pope.
It's a musical number, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I can't wait for you to sing.
Really impressive, sound work. It was just a lot of farting noises, and honestly, word.
I took a lot of inspiration from one of my fellow podcasters.
Which one?
Exactly.
The sound editing work on this show is difficult with the amount of farting we've got going on.
You should hear it back here. It is just absolute ass rips from start to finish for an hour and a half.
You should smell it back here, too.
Good thing we're not in the same room.
That's right.
Yeah, the amount of editing when I'm reading Big Beard to get out.
But when he says very into Roy Orbison, he's actually farting that all out of his butt.
Yeah, that's actually just my asshole speaking.
Speaking.
Well, thank God for Weekend at Popey's for revitalizing this guy is dead, but we're going to pretend he's not genre. It's only ever been done
no CGI
once before. Can you imagine? They just hologram the Pope around, and like people try to shake his hand, and like it goes right through, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's normal."
Yeah, they could just say you're not allowed to touch him anymore.
And we had to pay a lot of money to silence those families.
Joey Lawrence haircut.
Now, how do I turn this thing off?
It says I need to update to Real Player 7. You know what? I'll just deliver it. But, Jay, do we have any Beardo submitted sundries today?
We do. And I actually got 2 emails from... So, first email said, "Hey, Country Beardo Jamboree. I enjoyed the episode featuring country music. Like Joe, I was never a big fan of country music unless it crossed over or was made into a dance remix in the 90s. Hell yes. Recently, though, I've been obsessed with Chris Stapleton and, of course, Dixon Dallas. I was also impressed, I don't know, something that there was no mention of how homoerotic the country male stars are. The jeans are
Did you get surprised?
Oh, yeah, that's it. Sorry, I can't really think when I'm reading.
No, it's fine.
Obviously.
I think he meant engorged.
Wet. The jeans are tight and the shirts are sleeveless.
Yeah.
Also, the commercial was on point, but where do I send my underwear and how long does it need to marinate in a Ziploc baggie?
Results are still inconclusive. Trials are ongoing.
Send more. And lastly, just for the record, I could be good beard and big beard, but being good and big are not mutually exclusive. I'm talking about the beard for now. He said, I wasn't going to read this because I was just going to go on to the second email, but he signed it as good, big, and rich.
Come on, GBR. Crack me up in a can of that.
Right?
But his second email said, so I did not have Jay and Joe going off on a tangent while Anthony attempted to get things back on track on my bingo card. Also, when making the Easter basket, I found myself yelling chat pile at the podcast when asking what should the grass-like substance be that we fill the basket.
That was a missed opportunity on our part. And for
Do
that, I
it.
apologize.
Also thought the perfect basket would have been a couch of some sort.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Yeah, so he's fucking the basket. Okay, yeah.
Damn it.
He's putting his eggs in one basket.
Fucking that chat basket.
Of
That's right,
course,
baby.
thanks to you, I can never look at cream-filled eggs ever again.
Oh, don't you dare blame us for that.
Whatever.
You
I'm just going to
sick
see you
freak.
just... I can never look at these again. Unwrap, unwrap, unwrap.
You know, you are what you eat, Derek with the good beard. And the cream-filled eggs, I assume.
But that is all that we got from Derek.
It's not all we got from Derek, because Derek sent us that video of that woman who made the fried deviled eggs.
Yes.
Yeah, in the group chat. Okay, well, that's all I got in the
Yeah.
email from Derek.
Yeah, so just FYI, fried deviled eggs, which, I mean, I've heard of them before, but I've never done it before, and I'm kind of wanting to do it soon.
Yes. Let's do
I try and stray away from frying things just because of the smell it makes, but I would try them. Oh, wait, no. I've tried them at a restaurant somewhere.
Wait. You stray away from things because of the smell they make?
when
Have
he's
you thought
frying
about
them in the
straying away
kitchen.
from yourself?
Well, so that's why I can't add more smells to the house. I already smell. I can't afford another layer of smell. Bitch.
I know. I had to get COVID before we came to visit you just so I couldn't smell anything.
About time. Thank you. That's
You're welcome.
actually, that was helpful to me. We also...
Well, thanks, Derek.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Derek.
Thank you, Derek.
We also got a review.
Ooh.
Thank you for the 5-star review titled So Much Fun Until It's Not.
I agreed.
Sounds right, yeah.
But I love this review. It's pretty long. You guys, it was fine when it started, but now I think I might lose my job. You think you're just joking around, but I work in the industry, and your influence against certain grooming products and practices is strong. Please make it stop before I lose my job. All joking aside, this is a fun podcast to listen to. If you don't get that reference, listen to the villain season. It's great. One thing I really enjoy is the audience participation and interactions. Yay!
Yes, we do too.
Send emails and messages to contribute to the conversations, and the hosts have a good time responding to the comments, discussing the topics, and sharing with the rest of us. In fact, they even read these reviews on the pod. At this point, Jay will... Oh, fuck yeah. At this point, Jay will switch to his transatlantic accent as he finishes reading the review. Joe and Anthony will likely laugh and ad-lib and riff on it, and will collapse.
This will go on for 30 more minutes.
They really just are puppets. It's great. If you're not listening yet, check them out.
Yep.
I thank you for having me do that. I needed that.
We left this review on phonograph.
It is a snapped picture in my notes.
You can hear this review. Just crank this machine here. It'll come out of the sound flower. Ooh.
Just dial the number on your rotary phone.
That's 679.
Type it up in Morse code. Send it overseas.
That's not enough numbers.
Tap, 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 long.
Where's the pigeon?
Where is the pigeon?
See, this it's crazy because we get these creative, awesome reviews and emails and questions and all this engagement. It's just so few and far between. You guys are so creative. I want more.
We love so you for this.
Yes.
Every time I get an email, I remember that I get excited and I think about that lady from the 90s that used to do the sponge art.
Wiggles.
Yes.
Oh, I just love that.
Oh, look. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Oh,
Wiggles. Oh. And that's us.
Wait, who left that review? What was the name?
It says silly.jb.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Silly job blow? Did you fat finger the BJ?
What?
No kidding.
What neurons fired in between the two ears on your head to come up with that on the fly?
Not very many, because it's the easiest version of the answer of that.
Silly.
He had one little spark that went off. You think, silly job blow.
Because first
you
it was
love me now, mama. Please love me, mama.
Silly Bobo? That's not what they're called, I don't think.
Good God. Silly
I've used up all my neurons, so I don't have any response to the jokes.
You can't lose something you never had, baby.
Brain is so smooth.
You know, a lot of times I feel like my brain is like a 6-cylinder engine that only one cylinder is still firing. So it's just like in there going...
You're like that car in the first Cars movie that was trying to get out of town. He's like, I almost made it to the county line this time.
It's like I'm trying to pump out something to say that's funny, and it's just always cannot come to the thought I need. So it's like,
well, thanks for that review, silly job blow.
Job blow. Thank you, silly job blow. I wonder if silly job blow is related to Rob Lowe.
It sounds like a character on Star Wars. He's hanging out at the cantina. You got to go talk to Silly Joblo.
Silly Joblo. Play that same song. Oh, same song. Okay.
Oh.
That is all I got, by the way.
Well, thank you, Silly Joblo, and also Derek, who I'm not entirely certain are two different people. But do we have a villain of the week this week?
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
How about J.D. Vance for killing the Pope?
It's like for killing the Pope.
I mean, there's that picture we just found. It was his real name, his full name. Just killed the Pope Vance. I mean, it was right in front of us the whole time.
I think I like that. I like that. So the villain of the week this week is Just Killed Da Pope Vance.
Oh.
His full name.
First he fucked a couch, and now he's moved up to killing the Pope.
Killing popes and fucking couches.
He's building that resume for his LinkedIn.
Republicans love him.
Couches tolerate him.
Couches
They kind of just lay there and
threatened
take
by
it.
him.
Yeah.
You know what this is bringing me to is that picture of the casting couch. But it's just him
Classic
fucking the
picture.
casting couch. Yeah.
Yeah. You could rebirth a meme here potentially.
They're like, take your pants off, and he just immediately falls on the couch and starts humping it. They're like, no, that's not what we're after. And he's like, this is what I'm after, though.
This is all I'm after.
This is the hot stuff I'm looking for.
And I'm still struggling because all I can imagine is his little clumsy moment with the little statue award that just fell apart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. His social media team, they're the ones who are struggling.
Yeah.
Which, fuck them.
Yeah, but they probably hired like the worst people because you're pretty limited on options with the GOP, it feels like.
Well, it's also probably been deregulated, so no one's doing background checks. It's probably the same person who's running the Wendy's social account that Katy Perry's mad at right now.
Oh, did you see the whole thing about how they don't think they went to space?
Oh, what's this now? This is a new one.
Okay, so I have not confirmed this at all, but there's a video where after it landed, Jeff Bezos was walking up to use his little key to unlock the door, and as they're walking up, the door just starts to open, and somebody's like, no. And so it shuts, and then Jeff does his little, and then the door opens.
To let them out?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God.
They're like, everyone's like, I don't know if they actually went to space.
You know, if you like, let's roll back the video of them in space, and you can just like clearly see that they're at one of those like skydiving places, and they're like, no, keep your arms down, and she's holding the little daisy in front of her face, but it's like getting ripped to shreds by the fan because it's the skydiving machine that keeps you hovering in the air.
Or they've drank the bubbly soda and they're in the Willy Wonka factory.
You took fizzy lifting drinks to space? No, we were never in space. Oh, that's fine then.
Gail's in the background just burping. Guys, we gotta go back down. I'm so scared.
That's why the top started to open, because from all the burping from the gas. What is this episode? Is this 2000s movies or is it conspiracy theories part 2?
This is all you guys. I was trying to get a picture of the dog.
Katy Perry is getting just ragged on so bad right now.
I can't take fault with it. It's ridiculous.
I'm not like defending her, but I'm
Not
just
at
like,
all. I'm not.
Sweet Pea, did you think this was going to make everything better?
It's okay. She wants to pick her little fight with Wendy's. Be my guest. Have so much fun with that.
I enjoy that. Fight
What
Wendy's.
a weird
Fight,
thing to
fight,
pick a fight with.
Fight.
Yeah? She's like, come on, you SOBs. And they're like, our son of Baconators?
Our souls on board?
But, okay, so moving right along. How about giggity game time?
Yes.
Sounds giggity good to me.
All right.
Yeah, sounds fine.
This is a game I'm calling You Ought to Know.
You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game. Here's what happens if you lose. You better hurry up. Live or die. Make your choice.
Ow. Oh, God. That
Good.
slap hurt.
Good. You deserve that.
Jesus
You're
Christ,
so
I
red
really
right now,
cupped
and I
that one
love
in.
it. Good. I hope you get a bruise.
He's already got a wicked sunburn. Look at him.
I know.
So what's happening now is the red light from my screens is starting to glow on my face because the sun's not shining on me anymore. I hate you. Just go.
It's not all the laughing at your own jokes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that also is a little bit of it. But sorry, my own jokes are so hilarious.
That's the funniest one of the episode.
So funny. I've been laughing so hard this whole time. But I have a total of 19 trivia questions about 2000s films.
Huh.
And this is movie trivia. I mean, it's super simple. You guys are going to get 3 guesses apiece. I don't think you're going to need that. But the first person that I hear get it right is the person that gets the point. It's going to be, don't worry. I know there are 19 of these, but we're going to fly through these. I almost guarantee it.
Joe, will you mute your mic really quick before we start this game?
No,
Anthony, go.
bitch.
I was like, wait, is he following for it?
How dare you take advantage of my technical issues like that?
I was so excited when you were reaching up.
I was like, wait, he's doing it?
I've heard that before.
Yeah, just on Saturday. Sunday.
Sunday. All right, let's go.
All right. Number 1. This animated ogre took home the first
Shrek.
ever Oscar. That's a tie. You guys both got it at the same time. Jay, you are going to have to turn up your volume just a smidge. I
Does
can
this
hear you
help?
when you're I can hear you when you're talking by yourself, but it's when you're talking with Joe, I definitely hear Joe a lot better than I hear you.
Well, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. You can hear me this and it's okay.
Okay. The answer is Shrek, and it was the first ever Oscar for Best Animated Feature in 2002. Okay. A blue-skinned race living on Pandora
Avatar.
became...
Oh, fuck.
What did you say, Jay?
Well, I was about to say Avatar, and then I stopped because for some reason my brain was like, oh, it's animated films, and that's not really, and then... Anyways.
Nope.
As opposed to the real actors in the film Avatar.
I mean, in a way, it is animated.
I was like, it's kind of animated, but I don't know. My brain had a short.
What's new? Number 3. Which trilogy ended with the King of Gondor reclaiming his throne
Lord
in
of the Rings?
2003? Can you give me the specific movie?
No, I cannot.
Number 3.
Can you give me the subtitle name? Joe's gonna get it if you
The
if you
third.
can't give me the what? What did you say?
I said the third. I don't know at all. I
Lord
don't
of the
know
Rings
Lord
and the
of
Goblet
Rings.
of Fire.
Lord of the Rings Easy A edition.
It's Lord.
Lord of the Rings, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Jesus Christ. It's Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, but I'm going to give it to you because I know neither of you have seen any of those movies.
Lord of the Rings, Back in the Habit.
Oh my God. Number 4. What 2008 superhero film redefined comic book movies with a terrifying Joker?
The Dark Knight?
Batman.
The Dark Knight. Yes, you are correct, Joe. It
I
is
thought
The
that was
Dark Knight.
09.
Sorry, bitch.
You should be.
Okay, well, it was 2008, bitch. Number 5. Which 2006 movie followed an assistant navigating
Devil
the
Wears
ruthless
Prada.
world? Yes,
Devil Wears Prada.
indeed it is.
The girl with the worst friends in all of New York.
The worst boyfriend in all of New York. It was my birthday.
There's like $9 in Jarlsberg in this.
And I don't care. I'm not mad. What am I, a baby? Evidently, yes. Good night.
Good night. You should have been here for my birthday. Like we couldn't celebrate the next day. Anyways, number 6. Lindsay Lohan faced
Friday.
off against the Plastics in this
Mean Girls.
iconic 2000. Yes, it is. Mean Girls.
Why did I go to Freaky Friday first? Oh, what happened?
Because I said face
Yeah,
off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in
No,
Face
that's
Off.
Face Off.
Like in Face Off. Yeah. All right, number 7. A penguin named Mumble danced
Happy
his
Feet.
way. Yes, it was Joe for sure on that one.
Fine, there's a delay.
Jay was thinking of the classic Cummy Feet.
Okay, number 8. What 2000s movie franchise introduced us to Hogwarts and a young
Harry Potter.
wizard's
Harry
adventures?
Potter.
Yes, Harry Potter, Joe. You're so slow. You
No.
slow
It's a
bitch.
delay. If you hear
It's
it
a
in my
delay.
ear,
The delay is making Jay slower.
you're not even like
Yeah.
finishing the sentence and I'm getting it out.
Are you?
That's what she said?
I guess we'll find out in editing.
Can't wait.
Number 9, a clownfish crossed the ocean
Finding
to
Nemo.
rescue
Nemo.
his son. I'm going to give it to both of you because otherwise Jay's going to bitch about it.
That's right, I will. I'm used to losing, so it's not a big deal, but still. It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
principle.
Jesus Christ. Number 10, what musical released in 2008
High School Musical.
was
Chicago.
based on the songs of ABBA?
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia is correct, Joe.
Mamma Mia. Here I go again.
Just every time he gets it wrong or he gets it a little too late, Jay goes. He's a little eye roll. Ooh.
That's fine. It's
Like-
fine.
Life is hard. Wasn't what you
The
thought.
stakes
it
are
was gonna be,
against me here. It's fine.
Good things didn't work out so well.
Sorry, it's so medium rare that you win.
Number 11. Name the 2004 rom-com where Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams
The Notebook.
brought Nicholas Sparks. Yes, The Notebook, Jay.
Rom-com?
Brought Nicholas Sparks' words to life. I don't know. Listen, I lifted these from a website, bitch.
I've only ever heard of people crying when they watch that movie.
I was like,
Well-
I mean, I wouldn't consider rom-com, but as soon as I heard Rachel, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I thought so too, but oh, yeah, okay. Next.
Girl, I've never seen that movie, so sure.
I mean, I did cry the first time. Shit, I'll still cry. It's pretty good.
Number 12. What 2007 movie starred Will Smith as one of the last survivors in New York
I,
City?
Legend.
I, Legend. Yes, you are correct, Joe.
Wow, see, this is
I
where that
am Legend,
one
sorry.
cylinder is working because I was picturing Will Ferrell the entire time.
Oh,
Oh,
I
they
wouldn't
get
even want
confused
to
for one another
imagine.
all the time. Yeah.
I, Legend with Will Ferrell.
I was sitting there like,
I
this doesn't
am
sound
Legend.
right.
You said I am Legend, right?
I think I said I, Legend, actually, if I'm being honest.
I am Legend.
You
It
is
is that.
kind. You is smart. You is
So-
Oh my God,
legend.
I just
Jay.
watched that yesterday.
So I'm going to give you both a point for it because, Joe, I sincerely thought you said it because my audio glitched right as you were saying it.
Oh.
Oh,
I-
okay. You get the benefit of the doubt with audio.
So let me
I'm
let me
kidding.
explain. Let me explain my guess. Actually, I always forget that he's in I Am Legend because I always liked the movie I, Robot better, and that's also
Ooh.
Will Smith. So I always
Yeah.
think I, Legend instead of I Am Legend, and that's why I said it that way.
And that
Yeah.
is easy for the brain to do, so I understand that.
Anyways, number 14. What 2004 horror movie showed characters caught in a deadly game by a mysterious
Saw?
villain named... Yes, it was Saw. Both of you.
Okay.
Get that one.
I wanted so hard to scream House of Wax, but I was like, there
It
wasn't
was
enough
House of
details
Wax.
yet.
Oh, yeah. Well, the 2000s gave us House of Wax as well, going back to our earlier conversation.
Oh my God, 2000s
Where
killed
everyone
Paris
in the
Hilton,
theater
thank
was
God.
cheering for Paris Hilton to die.
Whether we wanted it or not, they gave us House of Wax.
Number 15. Which animated superhero family fought against
The
villains
Incredibles.
The
in a
Incredibles.
Yes, it was The Incredibles, Joe.
And
So
what scent bead
salty.
laden family fought odors in your laundry every day? The Unstoppables. This week's sponsor, Unstoppables by Downey.
Number 16. Wait, no. Number 16. What 2008 vampire movie starred Kristen
Twilight.
Stewart and Robert Yes, Twilight, Jay.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Number 17. Name the 2001 heist movie featuring George Clooney,
The Italian Job?
Brad Pitt, and Matt Damon.
007? No.
Ocean's 12? Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11. Oceans 10,
Ocean's
Oceans 9,
11,
Oceans 8,
yeah.
Oceans...
Joe got it. It was Ocean's 11. You were guessing them like Jenna Ortega is guessing like, no, it's like, oh God. Hayden Panettiere is guessing movies in Scream 4. She's like, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho.
Now, to my credit, that was my third guess, so it was still valid.
Oh, okay, sure. I wasn't keeping track of those. Number 18. Which 2007 Disney film saw a cartoon princess transported to New York City?
Ella Enchanted?
Thumbelina?
2000.
No.
Can you read it one more time?
Yes. Which 2007 Disney film saw a cartoon princess transported to New York City? I have to look something up.
Cartoon princess. This is boggling my mind, but I feel like the answer is so simple.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought. What did
Snow
you both
White?
guess, Laura? You said Ella Enchanted, and you said
Yeah.
what now, Thumbelina? And now Snow White? No.
Uh, 2008, a Disney princess transported to New York.
2007.
Oh well, of
Oh,
course.
God, she's frosty.
New York City.
You got one more guess, Jay. You want to just throw it away?
The Princess
Well, I was
Diaries?
waiting. I was waiting for
No.
Joe to go because I didn't know if you were going to give more hints or if it was just go.
How about a hint? That'd be great.
So you were okay, yeah. So hint is the main star of this movie is Amy Adams and James Marsden.
It's the movie I'm thinking of, but I guess I didn't know the name. You said Amy
Cinderella.
Adams and James Marsden.
It's not Cinderella, no.
There we go. I'm done.
See, I think I'm thinking of a different movie. I said Ella and
Beardos out there right now are screaming
yeah,
the name
they
of the
are.
movie.
They are. I can see the actors. I can see them. I just don't know what the movie's called. Toothless?
You're gonna be really upset. It's called Enchanted.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
I thought so.
Enchanted. Ella Enchanted is a different movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So almost.
Yep, no points there. And the very last one. Name the 2002 movie where Tobey Maguire first
Spider-Man.
donned a red... Yep, Spider-Man.
That's the
Spider-Man.
first. That's the first. Oh no, that's not the first theater I went to. That's just the first time I went to this one specific theater that was really nice.
Nice.
It's back when the Warren Theater was a big deal.
Oh, yeah. Before it became the Regal Theater.
Now
here
it's
in fucking
garbage.
Tulsa.
Yep, now it's garbage.
Trash. Good thing it still has the name associated with it. Anyways, at the end of our game, the score is Jay 7 and Joe 14. Oh, and me 1.
Shut up, bitch.
And then after editing, the score is going to change. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We'll see.
It's going to change to 28 to you and 14.
Jay, 29.
And Joe, more.
And Joe, 1.
One victory.
But I think I hear the music coming back on, and it's some song by Creed, since it's the early aughts. But go call our hotline real quick at 405-999-2242 and leave us a voicemail to open next week's episode.
And Beardos, we have to go update our Netflix queue for actual physical DVDs because that used to be a thing. So it's time for us to go. If you'd like to help us out, go and subscribe to our podcast so you can get frequent reminders every Sunday when we release a new episode. We also post updates on our social media sites for any sundries that we add to the market.
And just like Silly Job Blow, don't forget to rate us 5 stars and leave a review. Those reviews are what get us found by more Silly Job Blows like you. And also, if each one of you could recommend us to another Silly Job Blow, that would double our Silly Job Blow base, and that would be pretty cool.
Our Marklar with your Marklar. Our Marklar.
And after you're done writing that Silly Job Blow 5-star review, get on to our socials and look at this photograph. And you can check them on our Instagram, our Facebook, our Threads, our TikTok, our YouTube, all that shit, the norm. You can also email us because we'd love to read it out at beardsandsundries@gmail.com, where you can also send voice memos where I can use them as our opening voicemails. And if you want to buy any merch, keep an eye out. I'm making some more gear to add, and you can go to beardsandsundries.com to buy merch.
Gear, are we getting a BNS sling?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So, from the three of us, jaw blows here at the Beards and Sundries Market. Make sure to
Well, sorry, there's an audio delay. Love yourself.
jaw blow yourself.
Because we already job blowed you.
Jaw blow.
Hope you had a great time with our job blow.
Jaw blow. Ow. Oh, God. That slap hurt.